Welcome back, people. Dominic here again. And yeah, more trouble all the time. Seems to follow me around. How's everybody doing this Sunday? Um, I'm just going to wait a few minutes here for some people to come on, but type in the chat, please confirm that the feed is okay, that the connection is okay. If not, give me a thumbs down, or if that's even a thing. Just let me know, yes or no, is the connection fine? Because I've been having terrible connectivity issues, hence me coming on. This had to happen on Friday already. So just let me know there in the chat if you can hear me clearly, if you can see me clearly, if there's anything breaking up. Yes, no. Today we are going to be speaking about deadbeat dads. I sure as hell have been called one, and I'm sure many of you have as well. But we're going to discuss the dynamics around being a deadbeat dad. And before we go into that, I just want to let everyone know, right, that the lady by the name of Deirdre Geldenhuys does not have any part of Pain SA, okay? Everyone that is part of Pain SA, you have already seen. We are transparent. Everyone has shown their face. So that's one of the rules here for being a part of this, is if you're going to be speaking, and we do not give advice. We do not give any legal advice, psychological, nothing like that. We have never come out and say that we are experts in this. We are experts due to circumstance. I have been in this alienation process for 12 years, and the other fathers are just speaking from experience, okay? So please do not accept any psychological information or advice, legal information, suicide, whatever the case may be, from this lady by the name of Deirdre Geldenhuys. She is actually using Pain SA to consult people, and I've heard some stories. Anyways, I'm not going to dwell too long about that. I'm just saying that she does not represent Pain SA. Now that we've got that out of the way, right, let's talk about deadbeat dads. If you guys are on right now, and I'm actually gonna just leave the link there in the description. You are welcome to join me. I'm just going to talk about this. It might not even be a long show if I don't have anyone coming up and telling their story about being a so-called deadbeat dad. But whether you're watching this live or you are watching the replay of this, please leave your comments below as we go along. Okay, answer these questions. So there's just 4 questions really that I came up with here the other day when I thought about the show. You know, the term deadbeat is being thrown around way too much, and it's kind of offensive. I don't know if you guys feel the same. Like, surely if the guy was a deadbeat, you wouldn't have been involved with him in the first place, right? So that's a question of your judgment there. Do you just get involved with deadbeat guys? Is that your thing? Or like, were you manipulated into the relationship? How did you end up having a child with a deadbeat dad, right? Or a deadbeat guy in this case, right? Before you had a child, you should have done your reference, your background checks, and all of that. In fact, I should also take that advice for myself. I should have done a couple of background checks before I got into any relationships. But that, here's where we're at. The damage is done. We've now we now have kids, and dads are being called deadbeat left, right, and center. So what does it mean? Let me pull up the questions here. So what makes you a deadbeat dad, first of all? Right now, I've been called a deadbeat because I don't pay maintenance, and yeah, I don't have a job and various things, right? But in my opinion, or in my case, in my story, I was left with 400,000 rands debt, and my ex just moved on and said she's not paying that anymore. She's not living there. And I'm like, okay, but we signed this in community of property according to the law. Well, half of it is your responsibility, as we know. And it's just like, no, I don't live there anymore. I'm starting a new life. And at this point, we're still married. So, needless to say, that has caused tremendous financial strain. I've lost everything then. I built up again, and I guess the trauma of being in that relationship got me off balance. Like, you don't make the right decisions once you go through that trauma, once your child is taken away from you suddenly, and you're left with all of this debt. So I can only speak for myself. That's what makes me a deadbeat dad. I've got debt that cannot be covered now. It's irrecoverable. The flat that we were living in is gone. It's been sold off. It's been repossessed. But my ex gets to move on happily, not telling that part of the story. Just like, yeah, look how useless he is. So that's what makes me a deadbeat dad. Now, type in the chat if you've in the comments below. Let me know if you've been going through the same thing, if you've lost your job due to, oh, that's another thing. At the time, I was studying banking. I actually had a very good job. And from the stress, from the emotional trauma, having to go to court all the time, take off of work, I got into a lot of trouble at work. I was working in the bank that time at ABSA. No one could understand my troubles. It was just, sort it out yourself. No counseling was offered, or rather, there was like a hotline, but they didn't really do much. They didn't understand what was going on. Just you expected as a man, just be a man, deal with it, get over it, move on with your life. Can we say the same if that has been done with a father doing that to a woman, leaving her in all that debt, having her go through the same thing and say, just shake it off, carry on? So that's what's expected from men in the society. Again, in my opinion. All right. I'm waiting for people to come on live, but even if you don't, it's fine. Like I said, there's the replay for this. Just leave your comments as we go along. So if you've been called a deadbeat dad, type in the comments what makes you a deadbeat dad. Next, why are you a deadbeat dad? Now I went into that already before. I don't think women mothers realize what goes through a man's mind, what effect they cause when they just uproot and take our children away. It breaks a man terribly. We've had various guys come onto the show. I'm not gonna go down into that, but for me, at that point in time, when my ex left, it was a time of despair. Like, I actually drank more. I turned to alcohol. But first, actually, let me step back. When she left, I finally got to do what I wanted to do, right? And that was to lose a lot of weight. I wish I could show you pictures now. I actually should have thought about that beforehand, but I became a personal trainer. Let me know in the comments if you'd like to see my 120 kg large photos, okay? And even then, after losing that weight, I lost it in 6 months, trained twice a day, ate very healthy because I now could control my diet. It wasn't just trying to please my ex. She loved well, eating anything for that matter. But now I got to working on myself, personal development. Got rid of the dining room table, put in uh, I put in a full gym there. I had a cage, I had weights. Again, maybe on the next show I'll go deeper into my story as a personal trainer. But in any case, I lost all this weight, lost 40 kgs in about 6 months. A friend of mine put the idea into my head, hey, why don't you become a personal trainer? I didn't know what it was then. Found out, studied, left banking, went into personal training, did that for 8 years. It had its ups and downs, but I can say that I was very successful at that. But I could never be consistent at something. Always when there's someone opposing, or in my case, I would say abusing, then it would throw me off balance. And I now understand that it's trauma. Every little trigger, every time someone does something to you, it triggers this emotion. And for years, I would speak about what has happened to me, but never to the right people, right? It just sounds like you're complaining all the time. So we need to understand why deadbeat dads become deadbeats. We were all at one point, at least the guys that I've spoken to, they didn't start off as homeless. Otherwise, well, again, you should have done your background check then, if you're into homeless guys. But not downing anything there. But, and I'm not saying anything, you have to watch everything you say these days, but I'm not making fun of the homeless. But I'm sure that many will agree with me that that's obviously not the person you go after and attracted to. So something must have happened in between to have caused you to become homeless, or less financially stable, or unstable in your life, like I've been called as well, right? So again, how answering the question, why are you a deadbeat? Well, let me ask this question. If things haven't occurred in my life, my child wasn't taken away, my marriage wasn't destroyed by infidelity from my ex, then would I have turned out different, or could I have? Well, I probably never would have left the bank because I was studying as a credit manager. If I had the support during the marriage, where I could focus on my studies and not have to deal with fights and stress, and having to look after my daughter while my ex got to work overtime, then yeah, I probably wouldn't be a deadbeat dad. You know what I'm saying? So it's fine causing conflict and abusing someone, and then look at them afterwards and say, yeah, look how broken you are. You see, you're unfit, you're unstable. So just think about this. Type in the comment why you are a deadbeat dad in your own perspective, from your own perspective. And then how can you avoid becoming a deadbeat? Starts with a background check. In my opinion, again, just know who you're getting involved with. Don't jump into things. I was emotionally, I just came out of a relationship the time I got into the relationship with my ex-wife. So I didn't have time to heal. I was still heartbroken. It was a first love and all of that, but I immediately jumped into something else. And as I've spoken to a friend, Teggy, that's a fundamental error that we make, is jump from one relationship to the next. So that's one of the things that you can avoid, is give yourself time to heal, figure things out. And I think a good sign is when you stop talking about your ex and the damage she has done. That's the time you should be able to get into a new relationship. But if you're continuously telling everyone about the hurt, the pain, and all of that, obviously you have not healed completely, right? Make sense? So that's one of the ways you can avoid becoming a deadbeat. Avoid relationships. Do your background check if you do get into relationships. By that I mean, find out who the family is. Spend some time. Spend a lot of time. Listen to your friends. If I had gone back and thought about advice that I've got, and it was very few and far between, because people are too scared to give advice and say, hey, something's not right there, watch. But sometimes you can be advised about something not looking right, and then just ignore it, and nah, that's my woman, that how dare you, and you all protective and stuff of your relationship. But and 5 years later, then you get a "I told you so." It's happening now with a friend of mine as well. But I tend not to say "I told you so." I pick a brother up and I say, you know what, it's fine. Now you know what to avoid. Let's move forward. But learn from other people's mistakes. That's one of the second way you can avoid becoming a deadbeat. What more can I say? How to avoid becoming a deadbeat? Oh, plan your family. When I got married, or before we got married, we actually went to a gynecologist, and we went on family planning. So prescription contraceptives, very strong. And lo and behold, my wife still, at that time we were just engaged but living together. I think it was before we were living together. Correct. I stand to be corrected. But she then fell pregnant. I asked the guy, how's that possible? And he said, nah, it's impossible. All right. So it hit me a bit, because we were planning around actually building a sustainable, financially stable lifestyle, and having and enjoying our marriage first before actually having kids. But it happened, and I was a dad, and I love being a dad. I still love being a dad. I miss my child. I mean, there's not a day that goes by that I wake up and don't think about her. She's the first thing and the last thing on my mind, or the last person. Let me not say thing. But um, yeah, I've built a relationship over 12 years with this little girl, and it's suddenly destroyed like that, and with false accusations. I'll tell you guys the story. Actually, I'm putting out my story soon, so that you have a full view of who I am, where I come from. I just thought, spring into action with this show, because people need to be heard. People need to tell their stories. So that's another way that you can avoid to become a deadbeat dad. Uh, don't don't have children too soon. Plan things. See the signs. If there's problems in the beginning of the marriage, chances are they won't iron itself out later on in the marriage. You need to go for counseling. You need to go for premarital counseling. That's one thing for sure. All right. You have to plan your marriage, plan your family. So that's 3 tips there. If you have any more tips, add them in the comments there. Like I said, whether you're watching live or you're watching the replay of this, I'll always go back to the comments, answer folks, or even use that as content for the next show, so you can come on. By the way, if you are watching the show and you'd like to be interviewed, type the word interview in the chat, right? Type interview in the chat if you'd like to come on the show. You go through the chat bot, just answer a couple of questions. Don't forget, if you've made it so far, hit the like button, share this message, subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're watching this on YouTube. We go live on both of these, and we go live every day, provided the connection allows us to. Back to the questions. I think I've got the last one. Yeah. Question number 4. What can you do to stop being a deadbeat? Well, it's easy to say you need to pull yourself right, get a job. But what if that's not an avenue anymore? What if you are that broken? What if you are that destroyed where you can't function in a job? I mean, is that going to help with your alienation situation? Right? Is that going to help you see your child? And then if you said yes to that, and I'm talking to alienators now, in this case, woman keeping the children away from the father, mother keeping the children away from the father, if you said yes to that him finding a job would make him less of a deadbeat, isn't that extortion? I mean, you're keeping his child away. I can guarantee you the child doesn't care whether that father, I've heard of a father camping outside his children's where his children lived, and they didn't care that you were sleeping on the street. They just loved seeing him. They were there. And that's proof already that a child doesn't see all of this. The child doesn't see the finance unless the parent teaches them that's what's important in life. So what can you do to stop being a deadbeat? Well, I guess you can work on personal development. You can pull yourself right, but a little bit of assistance from the mom side. Stop alienating the child. Watch how that father pulls himself together if you stop using the child as a tool against him. But I guess that's the strategy, right? You actually want a father to be a deadbeat. And again, this is just in my opinion. I'm open for discussion. I see there's one viewer online there. I do apologize. My connection has been terrible, so I am recording this, and I'll probably upload it if need be. Right? If it is broken, I'll come on again and just check. But yeah, type in the chat. What can you do to stop being a deadbeat? If you've missed it so far, you can actually go back to the beginning of the show. I'm sure Facebook allows you to. If not, just watch the replay and answer these couple of questions. It's a hot topic. I'm hearing this term being thrown around very loosely. And, name calling is fine when it comes from the other party, the mother, the mother's family, calling you a deadbeat dad. But you can't say, well, you were slut. You went to go and sleep around with someone else. You can't say that. So this name calling, this deadbeat dad, it actually is offensive. It's a label that we don't wear proudly because we didn't choose to be deadbeats. This was caused by circumstance. It's designed by the system, right? I've spoken to lots of fathers over the past couple of weeks, and most of them have started out great, successful, thriving, and after the divorce, after children get alienated, you see them declining in spirit, in mind, in finances, every way. They just sink. Part of it is, well, the system can also help us stop being deadbeats if they stop milking us. You don't get help if you don't pay. And even when you do pay, I tried that before, still no results, no help. So type in the chat what you think you can do if you've been called a deadbeat dad before. What you can do to stop being a deadbeat. Again, it's easy to say someone must just pull themselves together and find a job. But if you are in that job, is it going to change your access with your child immediately? Because if mothers can simply, right, you got the job, great, yeah, pick up the child and you make an arrangement there. Do you think that this guy will thrive more in what he's doing? He'll be happier and he'll actually succeed? Or do you actually want to hold a gun to his head? And that's literally what's happening here. It's holding a carrot, dangling an unfair carrot, the child, or using that child as a gun and saying, well, if you don't do this, you're not going to get what you want, or what you deserve, rather, what your right is. So Answer this question. If the circumstances are different, if that child just get no matter what position that father is in, and I'm not saying that all fathers now are not deadbeats. I'm just trying to find out what the term means. All right. How far? Where do you draw the line? But at the end of the day, what are you doing? What are you doing to support that father not being a deadbeat? And this is what I see many mothers do, is they help with the destruction and then they point the finger, and it's for the child to say, yeah, okay, I understand my father's a deadbeat. But what is that teaching the child? That teaches the child that, well, if your blood, if your family goes through a tough time, you turn your back on them. You shun them. You kick them out. Push them away. You don't help. They're supposed to be strong all the time. They're supposed to, no matter what the odds are, even if they're being abused, shake it off, carry on, thrive in life. I wonder if the same would apply if the tables were turned. So type in the chat what you can do to stop being a deadbeat dad. Again, I'm going to end off the show there. Oh, we've got one. Lisa Marie, thank you for your comment. The alienated parent whom caused the alienation is actually the deadbeat. And personally, I don't think you will ever get rid of the label no matter what you do. Thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you for that, Lisa. Actually, on that note, I wanted to share something here quickly. A friend of mine sent this to me. And I actually have to be careful about how I share this, because, oh my goodness, how am I going to share this now? Because I don't want to show his name. Any case, all right. Yeah, he sent me something, and I don't want to show his name up on screen because, well, I didn't get his permission to, and it's kind of a sticky situation. When I get his approval, then I'll show it. But it's this story of Kanye West. I mean, he just sent a video on TikTok, and here's something for dads to ponder on. Social media is very powerful. Kanye just sent a message saying that, and if you don't know who Kanye West is, he's an American rapper, very famous. But he just sent a message saying that he's trying to find out where his daughter's birthday party is, and no one wants to tell him. Everyone's being, Kim Kardashian, the father of her kids, yeah, he's being alienated as well. So all he wants to do is be at his child's birthday party. But look at the power. And I know he's famous. He's got a lot of influence. But it seems like right after he posted that video, someone, Travis Scott, another rapper, I think it was Travis Scott, actually came on, and he told Kanye where the party is and how he gets to be with his child. But do you see the tactics? Do you see the manipulation? Actually, instead of me explaining it, I'm going to post this video after this live has ended. And I think that's it from me. So if you're watching the replay here, just give me your views on deadbeat dads. Thank you so much for your comment there, Lisa. Lise Marie. I hope I'm saying your name right. But yeah, there's very little we can do to remove that label. Even if you become the best dad in the world and you have millions in your account, again, it comes down to the money, not the relationship, not the support, emotional support and all of that. Everything has come down to money. And that, in my opinion, is what makes you a deadbeat. So how can you stop being a deadbeat? Final one, become a millionaire. Become a millionaire and pay the ransom. I call it a ransom. It's not maintenance. It's a ransom. All right, it's extortion. So you should be allowed to contribute to your child's well-being the way you can and the way you see fit, not the way the mother wants it to be, not the way the state wants it to be. You can't, a mother cannot tell a father how to be a father and what to say to their daughter or their son. Same way a father can't tell a mother what she's going through during pregnancy. We don't know. So, mothers, please stop telling deadbeat dads what fathers they should be, and maybe be a mother to your child and teach them how to love and respect and, not hate and push their family, their blood away when they go through a rough patch because of things that you did. Probably 9 times, 10 times out of 10. I've spoken to more than 10 fathers in the past 2 weeks, and it's all the same thing. It's all the same thing. They would not have been deadbeat if you didn't do something to them to cause that. I'm not speaking for all fathers. There are fathers that walk out of their children's lives, and I know one. In fact, that's the one that my ex is now married to. Walks out of his own children's life and wants to come play daddy now with my child and her other child from another man. And yeah, anyways, it's a mess. People, that's it from me for today. Leave your comments below if you're just joining now. Start from the beginning, and I think we'll keep this topic going. I wanna hear more from you. If we need to do another live on this topic, let me know. I think it's important that we start putting all this out there, man. And don't forget, uh, just another. I just need to make reference to this here quickly, please. Deirdre Geldenhuys is not a part of Pain SA. We do not give advice with legal matters. We don't have psychologists. We don't have experts. We don't have professionals that can actually sort out these problems right now. That's what we are trying to find. And I can guarantee you this woman is probably not that. Again, use your own discretion, but she does not speak on behalf of Pain SA. I do. Transparency is what we are all about here. And if she wants to come on the show and clear everything up, you know me, open door policy here. We don't hide behind Facebook profiles. We come out here in public and speak about it. Okay. Much love. I'll probably do another show later on at 5. As usual, we're doing Suffer Little Children, talking about how religion and parental alienation can either work together, or let me word this properly. There's a lot that's happening in churches. I'm not sure yet about mosques and all the other religious institutes, but for one, I know as a Christian that there's a lot that goes on in the church that goes unseen, and it's still very one-sided. And I guess that's the way society has been built, right? You built with a narrative. You have to see things one way, and there's no two ways about it. Okay. Fathers are expected to, I don't know, it's a new concept of what fathers need to be in society these days, and that we will discuss from the church's perspective. I've got David coming on again. He's very controversial. Some of you might feel offended, but again, this is an open platform for everyone to speak, and if you can back it up and make sense of it, then who am I to judge? Again, we will be coming back live, provided that my connection is stable. We'll be back on here at 5. All right. Love, peace. Thanks for joining. I'll see you guys later.